Hi, it's Mrs. Golding, and I'm here to give you kind of the basics of using Google Meet in a remote learning setting. I feel like one of the easiest ways to start a Google Meet is from your Google Calendar. If you don't know how to get there, we can help out. Just hit calendar.google.com. If you can't get there, let one of the Canvas or tech liaisons in the building know we can help you. Now, once you're there, you have the power to create an event using this plus button, or you can simply click on a place in the calendar and you can start. I have an event that I was working on called Social Studies Period 1. Imagining that I taught social studies. And once I created this event, I gave it a title. I created it to start on November 12th, and it is at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And it will happen. I chose this option custom, and I have it for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So all the weekdays it repeats. And I'm saying that it never ends, but I could say that it ends at the end of the grading period or the end of the school year. Now, I could add here a color code, which calendar I'm using, a description, a notification, all of those things. The important thing is to click this button that says Join with Google Meet. That will automatically create a link to your event that you can then share out. You can add guests one by one here. I don't recommend that, it's not very efficient. But if you do choose this, I would definitely click off that guests can invite others and even see the guest list, but because it's just a little complicated that way. More actions. There are other things that you can do here. Duplicate an event. If you're doing this for multiple classes, I recommend it. So like if I wanted social studies period 2, all I'd have to do is duplicate it here, change the title and the time. That would save myself a lot of grief. So I'm going to go ahead and save this event. And once it is saved, I'm just going to say, okay, all events. And I will see it on my calendar. I can click back in it, and that's when I can hover here and get a link for this event. I can take this link, I can hit there, and that copies it. I can then go into, for instance, my Canvas, which is what I've done for my classes. I have an image here that just says live stream link. And this is where the link to my live streams are. So if I click this, and if a student clicks it, it just opens up a Google Meet like what we're talking about. So I'm going to click out of that. The way that you can accomplish that is just to create a basic image, maybe just a triangle, maybe just a square, whatever. It can be as complicated as you like. And then you would link to that image. I'm going to give you an example here. If I'm going to create a page really quickly, in this page, I can I can call this whole page live stream link if I want to, or if this is Monday, however you're setting things up to organize them. Maybe I could even go out and find an image that I want to use. I know I used an image recently. This probably isn't what you're looking for, but I think I used this recently. Yes, quiz tomorrow. Well, that doesn't really fit. But if I were to choose this image, and you can choose anything, right, from the internet, from wherever, or one that you create, I can click on that image. See, it says image options. And then I can go to this link right here. And I want to choose an external link. And I'm going to Control V. Now that is the link to my meeting. Okay, that's the link to my meeting. And I hit done. And once I have saved this, saved it right here, when students see this and they click it, of course, hopefully it's not the Incredible Hulk saying there's a quiz tomorrow, but they will be able to join your Google Meet like that. So hopefully it says something like, it could be the Incredible Hulk yelling Google Meet. All right, so that's how you would create it. You can save it any way that you like. And then let's talk about what's happening in your Meet. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a Meet that I have running right now. The way this looks to you as a teacher, you will be able to click here and see everyone who is in your Meet. My son is kind enough to have joined this Meet for our viewing pleasure. And so that's where you would see all of your students who are on there. So you can use that for attendance if you like. There's also going to be another way to see attendance. Your host controls are here. You can share your screen so that you can show your students what you're doing. You can send chat messages, or you can completely turn chat off so students can't chat with each other or even with you. You can turn off your sharing of the screen here as well. There are more settings as well. So quick access means that if someone comes on, they're going to join right away, and you don't have to admit them. But if you want it to be more controlled, you can turn this off so that you have to admit each person. Some of the other controls here are the same. Now, the other area you want to look at is down here. Some people call this the snowman. I always call it the 3 dots. This is where you can change options, and students have these options as well to change the layout. This one is nice for you as a teacher to choose the tiled option, and you can decrease or increase here the number of people you see at once. If you set it to 30, you should be able to see everyone in your class at once, which is helpful. You can choose to require them to have their camera on, or you may not want to do that. The other thing that you're going to want to see here in these settings is this whiteboard option, which I use all the time. The other is a recording option. If I always recommend recording the meeting, and as you can see in my Canvas, let's go back here to modules. Let's see, go back here. Let's leave that. I have a link recording, a recording of my live stream that is linked as well. So if a student misses the Meet, they can still see the recording. They find that very helpful to be able to stop and go back and look at instruction. So this streaming option is important if you want a more private setting. In this setting, as streaming, students can only see you. They can't interact. They can't see each other. This is a more private situation. So if you have students that you need to protect their privacy a little bit more, that is how you're going to want to accomplish that. The whiteboard opens up a Jamboard, which is a great way for you to be able to write on with your stylus, and be able to give instruction that way. Okay, the other thing I want to show you quickly are some of the normal chat features live right here. This is if you want to let everyone send messages. You can see the chat if they're asking you a question. If you choose these shapes, this is something that School Corporation has added and is paying for. We can have breakout rooms where we can assign students in small groups. Personally, this seems a little scary to me. We can't monitor what's happening in those rooms. We don't get a recording of what's happening in those rooms. But perhaps you might find a use for that. The polls, however, I think are very helpful. I just made a poll about math. In slope-intercept form, the M represents the, and they had 3 choices. So you can see here it might be a nice way to do some formative assessment as you're going along. And you can set those up ahead of time. You just save them, and then you can launch. There's a button right here that says launch whenever you're ready to launch that one. And at some point in your discussion, you launch it and then you get your poll back. And you can even choose whether or not you want everyone that's involved to see it or if you're the only one that wants to see it. So this, I feel like, is a nice option. The question and answer feature is I can allow students to ask questions, and I can then kind of look through them. I don't know if you've ever been in a meeting and there's so many questions that it gets kind of discombobulated over on the right side. Well, as a teacher, that's very difficult to keep track of. So you can go back and look. So what questions are unanswered? Then there's a checkbox. So once you answer it, you can check it off. Or you can go ahead and look at the questions that are answered. So however you want to look at that. The students will also have the opportunity, if there's a question posted and they are like, yeah, that's my question too, they can click a little thumbs up so you can see how many people have that same question. So I feel like that's a helpful feature as well. Okay, so ending your meeting would happen here. Once the other thing you want to see is, again, if you wanted to share your screen, I don't think I showed you this. This is down here where it says present now. If you have students with any hearing difficulties, you can also turn on captions and it will close caption what you're saying. So once you leave the call, in not a long amount of time, but you will an email will be generated that will come to your email, and it will give you several reports. You'll get a report. You'll get a recording if you chose to record it. You'll also get a report of attendance, which I feel like is the most important feature. It will show who was there, and it will show, and you'll want to remind students that they're signing in with their school email. Who was there, when they logged in, how long they were on. So when they logged in and out. So they can't, you would know if they just logged in and didn't stay for the whole time. So those are some of the features I think that are most helpful when you're thinking about using Google Meet for remote learning. I hope you found it helpful. If you have further questions, please contact any of the tech liaisons, either from your team or contact me. All right.